"Call your sister," Mom would say each time I dropped my bags in the foyer. "She misses you." Except it wasn't my sister who missed me. It was Mom missing whatever it was sisters were meant to share, but which no longer existed between Meghan and me. Plus, tracking Meghan was a Herculean effort, thanks to a trail of numbers no longer in service, addresses no longer valid. Sometimes I humored Mom and dialed while she hovered near the kitchen landline and feigned that she wasn't listening. "She's not here," a stranger often groggily relayed once the line connected. Or, "Meghan who?" I slurped the dregs of my drink and stood to toss it in the garbage just as Meghan approached, although it took me a moment to register that it was, in fact, her. Her curvy shape, once so like my own, had melted into the straight edges of a young boy. Hanging from her body were a pair of baggy jeans and a zip-up, one of those sporty polyester numbers from the 70s, although she'd never been one to exercise. She hesitated when she saw me, then picked at the point of her upper lip, which was raw and bleeding, a nervous tic she'd had since childhood. Face to face, we leaned into an awkward hug. She didn't smell of the herbal essences and Calgon body sprays I remembered, instead reeking of chemicals and something smoky that made my eyes water. As we pulled apart, Meghan's plasticky purse slipped off her shoulder and onto the floor, scattering condoms, change, and clumps of lint. Also, an Altoids tin mottled with burn marks. I stood there like a statue and imagined the contents of the tin as she scrambled to collect her things. She'd missed my first legal drink, my first apartment, my graduation from York University, followed by my first military move to Kingston. And what had I missed? I could barely stand the thought. "Hi," I said to break the spell. She stood, purse righted, and barely met my chin. Even though I was 3 years younger, almost to the day, I was 6 inches taller. For some reason, the difference never failed to surprise me. "Hey. Thanks for meeting me." "No problem." She gathered her sheet of long brown hair into a ponytail, wisps of gray sneaking through the box dye, as they had since she was a teenager. Taking full stock of her was a stab to the gut. Her cheeks were sunken, skin colorless, hip bones jutting, teeth that looked like they hadn't been brushed in weeks. A stranger, really. "You're crazy thin." I reached out to tug at the loose waistband of her jeans. "I'm fine," she barked, swatting me away, spittle gathering at the corner of her mouth. And then she adjusted her zipped sweater and gave her shoulders a shimmy so that the veil of anger lifted like Mr. Hyde reverting to Dr. Jekyll form. I'd almost forgotten how exhausting it was. The constant emotional merry-go-round. "We better line up," she muttered, moving towards the throng of children in line for Santa. Keen to get the photo over with. "Want to walk through the bay first?" I had a weird desire to keep her in sight after what had been years of avoidance because now she was within arm's reach, and I didn't want her to disappear again. "There's this perfume. Thought we could get it for Mom for Christmas. Split the price." We both knew we wouldn't split the price, but I would still add Meghan's name to the gift tag and hate her while I did it. She shrugged but followed silently until we hit the department store's wall of floral scent. The hum of activity allowed Meghan to move through the shoppers unnoticed, and she wandered to the edge of the accessories area, fiddling with gaudy earrings, her fingers blackened like they'd been dipped in ink. With one eye trained on my sister, I approached the Chanel counter, where a salesperson tapped a polished nail on the glass case. My attention ricocheted between Meghan and the salesperson as plumes of perfumed air choked my other senses and a headache bloomed, making me squeeze the bridge of my nose. "Can I help you?" The salesperson smiled, cracking her painted foundation. "Yeah, hi. I'm just looking for something for my mom." "This one here," I called out to Meghan to distract her, holding the Chanel in the air. "Meg, this one. What do you think?" She didn't turn to face me. Instead, she slipped the rhinestone earrings into her purse, patting the bag when they reached the bottom. Next, she lingered over a brown belt.